Okay, day 13. Day 13. What family tradition brings you joy? And our winner was Lexi Williams, and her family tradition was just being together, just making sure they make time to be together. I'm trying to read my handwriting, which is, I didn't have my glasses on, so it's looking pretty murky, but I do see being together. So for her, her family tradition is being together. For my house, and I don't have the pictures in front of me, we have been taking my son, who is 5 years older than my niece, and we've been taking them to get family photos since she could sit upright on her own. So it's many years, like almost 19 years, 18 years. And, you could tell in the early years, like the very first, it was really cute. My kid was really into it. She was a baby, she didn't know. And then you get to like right about where she's 5 to 7 and he's, 10 through 12. And like they're just like, do we really have to touch each other? Do we have to stand near each other? This is annoying. And like the teen years on the chalkboard where it says, how many more years do we really have to do this? And now it's 19 and 24 and they love it. And every year, we always say we can't come up with another idea, but we somehow outdo all the years. So this year, we got the kids matching pajamas. So first they took their individual photos, really nice and serious, and then they got into their pajamas. And my brother-in-law, we got him a costume as a rabbi, and so he was Hanukkah Harry, and we took pictures with the three of them. But I think our favorite was during COVID, where we got them hazmat suits, disposable hazmat suits, and masks, and we were outside and we took their pictures that way. Because, what else would you wear during COVID? You'd wear masks. So that's what we did. And so the combined picture of the two of them is no face. It's just masks. Yeah. So we've dressed them in 50s outfits and taken them to a diner. And last year, my son was Elvis and my niece was Tinkerbell, like some of the favorite things of my mom's. And we've done old time photos. What's the word? Not reincarnate. What's the word?
Recreated?
Thank you. Bingo. We recreated photos. One when he was a baby, we actually had him hanging from suspenders from a rope overhead, looked like he was hanging in the sky like laundry. So we created that as a grown man with a beard. And my niece created a picture she did, and then my sister and I got into my bathtub at my house and we recreated a photo when we were younger in a bathtub with baby dolls. So we definitely can get into it sometimes, and then she and I will jump in once in a blue moon to surprise, uh, you know, my parents and now my mom. So that's one of my favorite traditions every year.
I'm gonna go with Chinese food on Christmas.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Every year, like every good Jew, that's what we're gonna do too. Well, that's just not just the Jewish thing, yes, but we will be having Chinese food and a movie on Christmas.
Yeah,
Amen.
my mom would she would give up doing things like cooking turkeys twice a year. I don't remember
Yeah,
what year, but then eventually she was just like, something has to be open for delivery,
yeah,
and it became Chinese on Christmas, which is for me perfect because
yeah. It's
it's
awesome.
wonderful. It's exactly what I want. I want to eat a
Yeah,
bunch of noodles and then crash and take a nap.
it's the
Yeah.
best. It is absolutely the best. I'll cook on Christmas Eve. I am cooking. When I cook, it's good. I just don't like it. I don't like it, but I'm
Is
gonna
it
do
the
it.
cleaning or is it the cooking?
No, because if I cook, he cleans. Absolutely. I just leave it
Interesting.
all in the sink and he will take care of everything before we even eat. It's just sometimes my back hurts and then it's like for me when I cook, by the time I'm done, I'm not hungry anymore. I think it's I've been around all the food. I don't look at it like any art form. I look at it as a pain in the rear. Just the chopping and the dicing and the mincing and baking is the worst. I don't like making cookies or cakes. Ugh, brownies. I'll do a brownie, but the rest of it, it's just I don't know
Brownies.
why. I want to
Let's
find it fun.
let's
I
talk
don't.
about that real quick.
What?
So, a buddy of mine hands me a box of these like Kodiak high protein brownie mix. He's
Mhm.
like, these are good brownies. They taste good,
Okay.
and because they're like a protein thing, usually those things taste like not good or
Chalk.
what have
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And so on the box there, it needs 2 eggs and a teaspoon of water and a teaspoon of oil, which is like nothing, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
then uh, somebody handed me a Girardelli dark chocolate brownie box.
Ghirardelli. Uh-huh.
whatever. I don't know how to say that
Right.
word. And it needs like
Ghirardelli.
a quarter of a cup of oil.
Yeah.
And I was like, how? How can these two things be so vastly different?
Because they taste vastly different.
Yeah, those other ones are delicious.
Were the Kodiak's good?
I love them.
Oh, you do?
But also, like on the box, it says, you can also add to it like peanut butter, like during the mix
Mm,
process. And
mm.
so I would get those. You know how you have to stir them because they separate the
Yeah,
butter from the oil, and
right.
it's super creamy. So I
Yeah.
would get those, and I would just kind of eat that like ice cream sometimes, just like 2 or 3 globs of that in a cup, and I would just like
Mm,
slowly eat that peanut butter. And I love that. Like I
mm.
just love that by itself. But when I added that to those
Yeah.
brownies, oh my goodness,
That's
just
interesting. I
out
mean,
of the
I'm
park
willing to give
good.
it a try. I like doesn't matter to me the brownie mix, but you gotta make it, have to say it, in a Pampered Chef brownie tin, the pan. There's no other pan that actually makes it where it's perfectly crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. It's the best. It's like and their pan is every square is already cut. So it's like getting the end
Ah.
with every brownie is an end in and of itself.
Yeah,
It's
what
like
is it with that? I love that. I love the
the
corners
end.
and I love the sides.
It's crunchy.
Yeah.
Crunchy. You like the crunchy
Yeah.
part. So when you get a Pampered Chef brownie pan, every single brownie is an end. So
Interesting.
good. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to put
Might have to
that
get
in
you
my
one.
Amazon thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a Pampered Chef fundraiser,
Pampered
and
Chef. We
yeah.
are?
Yes, we always do. Uh-huh. We have them a couple times a year.
Oh, I should pay more close attention to these things.
I know. I'll
Uh,
let you know when the next one is, and you'll order one.
Rob jumped in to say hi. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob. Oh God, poor
I know,
Rob's
right?
listening to me talk about how much I hate cooking.
That'll be good.
But it's just because I find it intimidating. I don't even like to hard boil an egg. I'm just very stressed out
No, no.
right
See,
now.
so hard boiling eggs, right? Like for a long time, that was like my go-to breakfast. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
I find that the easiest thing to do is to throw 3 eggs in the pot, set a
Hmm.
20-minute timer, like, and then when that timer goes off, I turn the oven off and I set a 5-minute timer, and then bam, hard-boiled eggs,
Okay. Okay.
right? And when I make steak with hard-boiled eggs, because that's my favorite dinner, like
Okay.
I do the reversed sear thing, so the steak goes in the oven for 25 minutes. So that 20 minutes, they're both cooking at the same time. And then I turn it off, then there's the 5-minute timer, and that's when the steak comes out. So in that same 25-minute window,
Your egg is gone. Right. It's
everything's all
good.
ready to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
All
mm,
right.
mm. Bachelor chow. Write that down.
Hmm. All right. Well,
Rob
that was
says,
day
I thought we
13.
got past that about you being hating cooking.
No, I get intimidated. I get intimidated, and yeah, I got so intimidated last minute to bring a dessert to our Hanukkah party last night that I just opted not to bring anything. I asked my sister, "Are you bringing anything?" And she said, "No, Mom didn't ask." So I just
Wow.
skirted any opportunity to contribute whatsoever. My
So,
mom for Hanukkah dinner made. She goes to the Chinese restaurant and picks up all these wonton soup and some rice and stuff, and proceeds to tell them, "I don't need any food because I'm making Chinese chicken." She tells this to the owners of the restaurant. And I'm sure they're thinking, "What do you mean you're making Chinese chicken? Like you're in a Chinese food restaurant. What the hell do you think you're making?" Which it's not. I mean, it's diced chicken, celery, onion, water chestnut, and then crunchy noodles, cream of mushroom soup, and you make a big mushy casserole with some slivered almonds and you cover it with some low sodium, like chicken broth, and it's delicious. But it's not Chinese chicken. We call it that, but it's she told
interesting.
them that. But it was
Interesting.
great. And she made Jewish apple cake that was amazing and chocolate chip mandel bread, which was amazing. Nope, I got out of cooking. Got out
Uh,
of it.
my brother got invited to a neighborhood party that I went
Yeah.
to, and it's one of those things where you bring something, and so my go-to is taco cheese dip, And
Mhm.
so it's ground beef, taco seasoning, 2 cans of black beans, 1 can of the tomatoes, and then 2 jars of the Tostitos, like mild cheese mix. And I put
Okay.
all of that stuff in an Instant Pot and bring that
Yeah.
there. And they plug it in and they heat everything back up. And I mean, I just watched people sitting around that little cauldron just, oh my God, oh my God. But this is like, oh my God, we did so many bottles of wine later. And that's the other thing, like that goes well with
Mhm.
wine because it's just what it
I
is.
like making meatballs, little meatballs with chili sauce and grape jelly. That's really good. In my crock pot, that's good too.
Rob says,
Yeah,
I'm
I
making,
get dreams of grandeur, but then I just no, like there's this thing I want to make where it's a little bit of like dough, like pastry dough, like you cut out circles and you put them in the cupcake tin, and you have to have very thinly sliced apples and you line that around, and it's like cinnamon and sugar, and it's like really light and flaky little apple crispy thingy. No, the idea of thinly shaping the apples or finding a machine to do, it's like I'm like, oh, it's too much work.
so
I don't want to.
Rob says, I'm making rustic French bread and sweet potatoes and pecans.
Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah,
"Oh, it's Monday. I'm just gonna make some sweet potatoes and pecans."
yeah, that's exactly it. That's it for Rob's got it. And then he says, your mom is hilarious.
She It was so good. It was really, really so good. Not like pecans and sweet potatoes. You know what I'll be having tonight? I'm gonna go pick up, like, number 15 chicken souvlaki up the street from the Greek diner because that's delicious, and I don't know how to make chicken on a stick. Don't even. It took all my years of my life before I learned that chicken souvlaki is basically it's a chicken kebab. Did not know this. Mm-mm.
There should be more meats on sticks,
Should be meat on the stick everywhere you go all the time.
right?
Okay.
You hear that, McDonald's?
Yes. The McCafe or something. What are they doing?
All right, nuggets on a stick would be banger.
It feels like it would be more healthy if it's on a stick, right?
Yeah, hope so.